Forgotten Realms has always been my favorite D&D setting, and I think it's because up until its release, I was a player, but when the box set came out in the late 1980s, I dove into it and started my journey to becoming a forever DM. GameMasters here, and a long time ago, there was an individual by the name of Volo Gedram. Most folks know this individual as Volo, a wizard of sorts that traveled the Forgotten Realms, taking note and publishing various guides that the intrepid adventurer could pore over to give them a slight advantage of knowledge on places to go and what to expect when they got there. Most of the Volo's guides that I'm familiar with have all come from Wizards of the Coast, and this is one of those neat things that they do. They actually allow individuals to create content for Dungeons & Dragons, and what's more, these creators can earn a little cash for doing it. This, of course, has all been a way for me to set up the introduction to Volo's Vetted Vendors. You can find this over on dmsguild.com. I'll leave a link to it below in the description. But a friend of mine, Matt Kimberlin, actually has some work published in this book. First off, what is it? It's a book of various shops and vendors that can be found, well, anywhere. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. But first, the disclaimer. And you guys know I love those. While Volo claims he has vetted each of the veritable vendors in this supplement, no one has actually been able to verify this. If you find a shopkeeper that does in fact exist, approach them with caution. Do not trust Volo. The publishers of this book are not responsible for any damages resulting from interactions with the persons or places mentioned herein. Flavor. I love it. There's also a quote or foreword from Tim here at the beginning, and I think that it really sums up what the book is all about. If you're anything like me, your players like to ask for the kinds of details that Dungeons & Dragons normally abstracts away. What's for dinner in the inn? What do they sell over at the herbalist shop? And you know, this describes my players to a T. Within these pages, you're going to find 20 shops, inns, and other businesses that can be found in various places across the Forgotten Realms. Some might appear in Waterdeep, others may appear in Icewind Dale, just various places spotted across the realms. But remember, when I said that these shops and vendors could be found almost anywhere, so the creators of these shops made these in such a way that they could appear in almost any campaign setting, even in your own homebrew settings. I don't know if they took a page from Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, but from what I've seen so far from that book, in as much as it can be tethered to any campaign setting or even be used as a hub to get to any campaign setting, this Volo's Vetted Vendors book could also easily fit right into almost any given setting of your choosing. Looking at the table of contents, we can see the various names of different shops and inns. And without giving away too many of the elements, I do want to divulge in one, just so that you can get a feel for what's inside the book. So let's check out Fortuna's Fabulous Trifles. You can see here that it shows an example location, any town or city with a population greater than 5,000 people. Whereas if you are actually wanting to populate this into your Forgotten Realms setting, it would be in a forgotten alley in Neverwinter, or perhaps a tunnel in the sewers of Baldur's Gate, or maybe even at the end of the road in Waterdeep. In other words, it can fit pretty much in any place you need it to. The next section goes into detail of what the Trifles shop is, that some suspect it has multiple storefronts across the realms, and it also provides a description of the shop. Further, we get a depiction of Fortuna herself, an archfey wearing opulent robes of rich purple and deep blue, and she is not one to be trifled with. Pun intended there. There is a section on drama found within the shop. This provides some quest hooks for the DM, and further there are notes for the DM on how to roleplay Fortuna, as well as an overall price list table to reference. For those that look really hard, there is a hidden item that I call the Thumb of Liking. And you can hit the like button below if you are enjoying this video, and it will give me a plus bonus, depending on how many likes we get, to helping spread these videos out to more eyes, and I in turn thank you for that. The other inns and shops in here are of similar format, each one going into detail of the individual that runs the establishment, as well as what can be found within. Towards the end, we have 3 appendices. The first being a fairly large portion of stat blocks for various monsters, and you guys know me, I always got to see if there's zombies included, and to my enjoyment, not only do we get a zombie of your regular garden variety, but we also get a zombified T-Rex. And spoiler, he shows up in one of these shops. Appendix B is all about magic items. If I counted correctly, it's right at 35 new items in all, which makes sense that things like this would be included. I mean, you are encountering new shops after all. Appendix C is it's kind of a complement to the magic items. It's adventuring gear. Some a bit more mundane, like an abacus or magnifying glass, soap, stuff like that, but also that's stuff that's also very important to your everyday adventuring. The artwork within is superb, and sprinkled throughout are little notes from Volo, but one of the hidden gems of this publication is that, and as we described in Fortuna's Fabulous Trifles, the inquisitive player, if they ask the right question or look at the right item within the shop, there might just be a chance at a side quest or two. Earlier we mentioned Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, and as we discover more information about it and get our review copy in, we'll be posting more videos about it, and you can check those out here. And 2, if you'd like to snag your own copy of this, it's available over on DM's Guild, links in the description. Do you have a vendor that shows up in your campaign? Tell me about it in the comments below, and until next our paths cross, may you find a thumb of liking.